Hey there, welcome to Hermit Haven. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jacqui. We're so excited to invite you into our safe space. Hermit Haven is like a cozy little hideout where we get to celebrate being confident in ourselves as we find happiness in quiet moments.
So grab your favorite blanket and your favorite drink, and let's dive into today's episode.
Hi, I'm Jacqui. Welcome back to Hermit Haven.
Hi, I'm Ashley. We're excited to have you. This week, we're going to chat about trips that we took the past year and trips that we are planning in the future and all our dream trips and all the good stuff about traveling.
Yay!
Yay! I think last year we didn't do like little trips. I feel like we didn't do as many little trips. I feel like my family did like big trips. And so we had some really good big trips that happened. We started off the year in January with going to North Carolina for Matt's birthday. We got to see his mom and his stepdad, and we spent time with them. And then on the way back, we went to Savannah, Georgia for the day, and that was super fun. I love to, like, I just love road trips in general. Like, if I had to choose if I was going on an airplane or like if I was going on in a car, I would prefer a car. Like, and I know Jacqui's opposite, right?
I just get really motion sick in the car. And I don't know why, but it's gotten worse in like the past year to the point where we were on the road for like 20 minutes the other day and I was like, I don't feel good. I don't know. So unless I'm driving, but I also don't love flying, so neither one's great for me. I just kind of go with it.
She's like, I just want to be there somehow magically.
If
What
you could just, what is it called? Like make the thing where you could just transport me, like
I get
whatever. Yeah.
Genie will give you a wish to get there.
Yeah. Just like plot me there and I'm good.
What, do you like cruises? Like, what about boats? Is it the same way for boats?
Yes, but usually, I'm very fortunate that my family, when I was little, I know we might just be all over the place and it's fine. Oh, by the way, before I start talking, my internet is not great because I'm at my mom's house. I'm currently traveling, goes with our theme. And so if I'm like one of those, my voice is off with my whatever, then I'm sorry. But yeah, so when I was younger, I was very fortunate and we used to go to Aruba for 2 weeks. It would be like my brother, my sister, and I, my parents, my grandparents, and my dad's parents, and my aunt and uncle. And it was amazing. I mean, I have so many great memories from going there. And my grandparents and parents and my aunt and uncle would go out at night and we would have the same babysitter. Like she lived in Aruba and she would come baby. She was this older lady named Beulah and she was so cool. And we would like go explore the hotel with her at night. I don't know if we were supposed to be doing that, but it was so fun. But then after, when it was hard for my grandparents to travel, we would go on cruises. Like I said, very fortunate. And I've been on a lot of cruises, like probably more than a lot of people. However, there's always at least like 2 days where I'm down for the count,
She's like, I'm
like
done.
for the pretty much the whole day.
You're like, I'm
Yeah.
taking a nap. Leave
I think
me.
it depends. Yeah, I think it really depends also, obviously, like on the time of year, what the oceans are like, where you're going, because just different times of year have different storms and what, I don't know, the seas are different. So, yeah, traveling, I love to travel and I've traveled a lot, but I get sick almost no matter what I do. I don't get sick on airplanes. I just get nervous.
I'm totally opposite because like I could do cruises unless it's like super like rocky. Cars, I grew up going on road trips with my parents all the time. Like I feel like that was just like a fun activity. But airplanes, I will literally, no matter what, get sick. Last time it was a whole other issue, if Jacqui remembers, last time I flew, but that's a story in itself. But every time I fly, I literally come home sick as a dog. Like something about the air pressure, something about like it itself. Like I cannot stand airplanes. And sometimes like the air pressure, it's really just the air pressure for me. Like it makes me so sick. But I remember like there's a few times I flew and I just wanted to cry for my mother. And it's very rare I ever want to cry for my mother, even as a kid. Like I just but something about air pressure, or then like or like on longer flights, I get really bad leg cramps. Like I Everyone always told me I could be a like a flight attendant, and I was like, absolutely not. I cannot stand flying. Leave me at the airport. Like, I don't want to fly if I don't have to. And I've flown like some pretty far places, but still not my thing. So definitely a car person. I can sleep the entire car ride. Like, I've done trains too. Like, trains are great. Car rides are great. Cruises are pretty great, especially cruises because they have buffets and you just eat unlimited food. Oh my goodness.
I like on cruise that you get to go to so many different places in one trip.
It
Like
is
that's cool.
It is
Yeah.
nice. I feel like that's like the best part. But I feel like that's road trips too. Like so one of the other things we did the past year was we moved to Colorado and we drove all the way to Colorado from Orlando and we got to stop in like different cities and like try different coffee shops. And we went to like Kansas City and had barbecue. Oh my gosh, such good barbecue. So I feel like I like also the drive because you get to do kind of like you said, like with cruises, stop in different places. So
I think if I could do things in the car, I would love car trips. I wouldn't mind at all. Like I don't mind sitting there, but I'm bored because sitting there staring at the window and I can't, it's hard for me to turn around to help the kids because it makes me nauseous. I can't really look at my phone for more than like 1 minute or it makes me nauseous. I can't read a book. I just sit there.
you're like,
So
please end this car ride.
at least on a cruise, I can like sleep even if I don't feel good for like the day. I mean, you can in a car, but you're like more comfortable in a bed.
It's true. But I feel like I like literally could sleep in any car ride. Like I am the type of person that you put me in a car ride for more than 30 minutes, I will fall asleep. I just
So this year, so you did what trips did you do this year?
So we did, like we said, we went to North Carolina beginning of the year for Matt's birthday. And then we had like a trip to New York to visit our friends, which literally, let's just say all we did was eat through New York. I think we ate so much food. It was insane. Like me and Matt spent at least 2 months sending TikToks and like Instagram reels back and forth and saving them. And we went to so many places to eat. And like their friends lived in New York. Our friends lived in New York too. So they took us to places and we just ate a lot of food and had a really good time. We were there for like 4 days, but I think we like the amount of money we spent to go to like eat around New York was insane. Like it was insane, but it was great. It was amazing. And then we also did Disneyland as our one of our trips. So we went in August. Like it was crazy because we right before we moved, we went to Disneyland and we didn't know we were moving. Like this Disneyland trip was planned way before that. I think I've been planning this Disneyland trip for at least a year before we even went because I knew I was gonna go. Literally, as soon as they announced what days Halloween started at Disneyland, I was like, okay, we're gonna go the day before it starts, and then the day like we get there. So we wanted to see like the at it without the Halloween decorations, but they already started decorating, which is fine. But then like it was really cool because we saw Cars Land with the like normal cars, like how they normally look. And then the next day we went and they were in costume and I was freaking out. It was amazing. Literally, I'm obsessed with Tow Mater. So seeing Tow Mater in his little costume, pure joy there, pure joy. But we love Disneyland so much. We love the food in Disneyland. Like it was just a great 3 days. And then Jacqui and we had a little staycation, which I considered a trip too, because I was just like, I feel like you consider a trip when you're not like a tethered to your phone, you're not tethered to the rest of the world. Like you really get to enjoy what you're doing, enjoy the person. So we had such a good time, Jacqui and I, in our little spooky staycation. Even though it was like 24 hours, sometimes those are like the best trips because then you're like, I got to do it all. Yeah, I got to do it all. So those were kind of like all the trips we did this year. I would say
And then you moved across the country.
yeah, that considered a trip too, like just driving across the country and then seeing like Colorado. Like I've been to Colorado one other time. It was actually really cute. So when Matt and I first started dating, Matt was already planning going to a wedding in December, and his mom was like, "You're taking Ashley with you. I will pay for those tickets to take her." And so I ended up going with Matt to his friend's wedding, which is cute because their friends still live here and we get to see them. But it was so cute because that was the first time we went to Colorado together, and here we are 3 years later. So even though we haven't been back to where that wedding was, it's still cool. So we've been to so far a couple different cities in Colorado, but it's cool to explore like a new state also.
Yeah, I've never been to Colorado. I will, obviously. Same.
Obviously, Gavin's already planning it.
I know. We haven't done a lot of like big trips, I feel like. Oh, we've done some, but nothing like too crazy, I feel like, since we've had kids. I feel like a lot of my traveling like abroad was before I had kids. But I'm at my mom's house and it's about 3 hours from where I live. So I try to come down like once a month or every other month at the most. Since my grandparents are in their 90s down here, my brother's down here. So we often will just take a weekend, but we're here for a whole week, which is really cool. And it's, I think, the only time of year that we really come for a whole week. So we're down here. And what else? We went to Georgia. We did a road trip to Georgia to see Glenn's sister for his niece's birthday, which is really fun. And even though it's like, obviously, Georgia is right next to Florida, the landscape, I feel like it's so different. So it's kind of fun to see, like, I mean, I guess maybe northern Florida looks similar, but not central Florida. So it's fun. And then our spooky staycation. I feel like that's basically was my 2024 trips.
You had
But
fun though. I feel like
I
you had a
know.
lot of fun. Didn't you go like also to another like besides going down south, didn't you just go see like your cousins?
We did go to Venice, Florida. So you're right, on the West Coast. We did. I hadn't seen them in a long time. I hadn't been to Venice. I don't know when my aunt moved there, but I hadn't been there in forever. She moved there and before I was married, like before I met Glenn. So we've been married for 11 years, so like quite a while ago. But I don't think I'd been there since Gavin was little and now he's 8. So yeah, that
Oh,
was fun. This time last year, or I guess Thanksgiving of last year, so within, I guess, a year, we went to North Carolina.
oh,
Last year, right after Dad passed, my mom, I think my sister had originally was going up there because that's where her in-laws live, and it's in the mountains, so it's right by where everything happened this year with the hurricane. But they're in Mill Springs, so it's I don't know, maybe like an hour from Nashville or something. But it's in the mountains and it's beautiful. And where they're like houses, it's like on a hill, and then there's another hill where they have another cabin that they own, and it's like the picturesque like mountains in the background, and it was beautiful. So we went there for Thanksgiving last year, and it
fun.
was so pretty. Yeah, the changing leaves, we don't see that in Florida.
No. I
So it
love
was fun.
that though. Like I love when you go someplace new and get to see like the beauty of like a new city. I feel like that's what like I love about traveling. Like so I guess when I lived with my parents, I definitely traveled more because I didn't really have bills. I didn't have like many responsibilities. And like me and my friends would go away every weekend. Like we would go New Jersey. I was in Virginia, so we go New Jersey. We go to like Pennsylvania. We go North Carolina, South Carolina. And like I'm very like grateful. I've had the ability to travel to like 14 different countries and see all these different countries and like it's just so amazing seeing the culture for yourself, seeing like what is the normal there, seeing the beauty of it, seeing what it looks like. I just love that about traveling. It's so special.
I don't know how many countries I've been to, and I'm very blessed to say that. I've really never counted, only because I have been on like a lot of cruises. So you get to go to a lot of more like the Virgin Islands and Panama and Mexico, like all those places. So I've been to technically a lot of different countries. And then I've been over to Europe as well. But yeah, it's just incredible to see the different cultures and just like the landscape, the architecture. It's beautiful just to see different places. Like it makes you forget, like, I don't know, just you're just so used to where you're at. And so when you get to go somewhere else, it's like there's a world out there. It's not just here.
I feel like too, like when you think of travel, you think like it has to be this like luxurious, like 4 day, 3 day trip. Like literally going to another city for the day is travel, is a trip. And I think that's something I always like oh, like my parents taught me as a kid, like it's okay for the day just to go to another city and call that a trip for the month. And I think like, when you're hearing us talk about all these like trips we took this year or like things we did, like it doesn't have, you don't need to go to another state. You don't need to go to another country. You literally could just go to the next city and spend the day there and call that your trip. So I think, and there's so many free options too. Like, yeah, I spent all this money in New York, I spent all this money in Disneyland, but go to the local, museums do like a free day once a month, or, there's a festival going on, like a little art festival, whatever it is, like find your freebie thing and go, and that was something like growing up, like we would just go to Disney for the day. And it wasn't like the parks. We would literally go to Disney Springs, go to downtown Disney, or like when we moved to Virginia, my parents would take me to St. Augustine. It's not St. Augustine. When we moved to Virginia, we would go to like Williamsburg, both historical places, but like we would go there for the day, or like we would go up to like Maryland for the day. Like, it's okay to call any type of thing where you're not tethered to your phone, you're doing activities, you're doing something, even if it's taking your kids to a new park in a new city, that's a trip.
Yeah. I think it's also easy because I was sitting here like, oh, I didn't do any trips this year, but it's like I went to Georgia, I've been to South Florida, I went to Venice, I went to um, our spooky staycation. And so I think it's easy to like think that those, even though they seem like small, it's still a trip and that's still like such fun memories. So I think, just having like more gratitude about being able to even travel outside your city is huge. It doesn't have to be to another country. And not everyone wants to travel to another country.
Yeah.
I get nervous when I travel places where like I can't speak the language. I mean, I know people like love like, but I don't know, I get nervous when I go outside of the country. So,
I feel like that was like the biggest thing though, like when I went to Israel, and I don't know if I talked about this before with everyone, but when I went to Israel, one of my first days there, I needed to go get conditioner, challah for Shabbos, and a blanket to sleep with because the blankets I brought were just not heavy enough. It was really cold. I moved like in the colder months, and I remember standing at the bus station, right? Because that was the way you got around was the bus, like public transportation. I remember standing at the bus station asking someone how to get to the mall, right? And the person goes, I don't speak English. Let me find someone that speaks English. So they found another person that didn't know how to speak English, but could read English. And so they both were communicating with each other to help me get to the mall. So I get on the bus and they're tell everybody I'm going to the mall at this point. And I literally like people are counting down the bus stops for me, counting down how many more stops. They're all like, "Oh, we're here at the mall." And like that changed my whole perspective. Like I feel like that moment was such a small moment, but really was such a big moment. Like realizing that being pushed outside of your culture, being pushed out into a place where you don't speak the same language, yeah, it could be challenging, but there's so many people out there that want to see you succeed. And so, like, being nervous that you're not going to speak the same language, being nervous that, like, you're not going to make it in our country is just, it's not true. People want to see you do good.
yeah. I get nervous everywhere I go, even in the United States. But I still love traveling. I still love experiencing it. It is very outside my comfort zone to go outside of my city. So I guess I do it often. Very proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too. I think too, like as our podcast grows, like something Jacqui and I talk about a lot is we want to do like trips and do podcasts based off these trips and like talk about our travels. And like, so like, I feel like that's one of the things like we're planning for the future is like in the next, I would say 2-3 years that like we could take this podcast on the road and be like, hey, we're coming to you from Disneyland and we're doing all these great things. And I think, that's like the fun part too, is like finding someone to travel with and creating those memories. So I definitely
Yeah.
think that's one of our dream trips is Disneyland together.
Yeah.
What is some
Yeah.
other dream trips you have?
So I have always wanted, I think like my top place, I don't know if this is going to sound silly or not. My top place, if I could go anywhere right now, would actually be in the United States. I want to go see redwood trees. I want to
Oh,
go see them. Yes. Like I've always wanted to go see them. And when we had our honeymoon, Glenn's always my trip planner. Like he's weird. I'm good at planning basically everything, but he is weirdly good at planning trips. So I thought that we were going to like San Francisco, Napa. So I thought we were going to see redwood trees. And he surprised me with a Hawaii vacation, which I've always wanted to go for my honeymoon. So I'm totally not complaining. I cried. I was like so excited. But I still have never seen the redwood trees. And so that's kind of my top thing that I want to do. Yeah, I love nature. I don't love bugs, but I love nature. And that's one of them. I also really want to go to the UK, like England, Ireland, and Scotland. I want to see all of that. Those are probably my top things. Maybe another national park, like Zion National Park in Utah.
You come here and see Rocky Mountain National Park.
Want to go to Colorado for sure. What are some of yours? I'm
So
guessing other
I have
countries.
like a life vision board. I was gonna see if it was my background right now, but it's not. But I have a life vision like one, and on there is Greece, Italy. Like those have been my dream trips for like as long as I can imagine. I also want to see all the Disneylands and all the Universals, especially Japan. I literally told Matt that if we go to Japan, I hope you're prepared for us to stay there for 3 months because I want to see every inch of Japan. I'm obsessed. Like, first of all, fun fact, in Universal in Japan, it's the only one that has owls that fly there. White owls. Like, if you're obsessed with Harry Potter, you'll get it. Like, I'm literally obsessed. So I love theme parks, if you can't tell. So all the Universal parks, there's one in Singapore, there's one in Japan, like, and then I want to see all the Disneys, and then I want to do Knott's Berry Farm really bad, which is in near Anaheim, and I also want to do Dollywood. That is like definitely on my list too. Like I've been wanting to go to Dollywood for forever. So besides Dollywood, I literally want to just travel all across America. Like my dream is to like get an RV and just go across America. Like I just think that's so fun. My dad talks about like that's what he did as a childhood, and I just think about like again, see all these different places, try all this different food, like that is just amazing. Also, I want to do a family cruise and not like with my family per se. Like when I say family cruise, I want to invite all our friends, like every single one of our friends, like give them like a year to figure this out, like how to pay it off and all the things. Like just do a cheap cruise. Like it doesn't have to be like a Disney cruise, even though I really want to do a Disney cruise. And just like we all get together and just like have a good time, and like that way people can do what they want and we do stuff together. And then I really want to go on a cruise to Alaska. And I was going to go on a cruise to Alaska to celebrate my mother-in-law, but we are having a baby instead. So that is what we're doing next year instead of going to Alaska, which is fine. We will eventually go to Alaska. We're actually talking about possibly going with our other friends. So it'll all work out. But I think those are some of my dream trips, like literally everything in reality. Like if I can see the world, just sign me up. When I was younger, I would say younger because I was like, this was 10 years ago. But when I was younger, I really wanted to do like one of those like cruise, like those like trips where you go like with a bunch of random people through Europe and you go to like 20 countries. I wanted to do it so bad. I like even tried to convince a friend to go. So, I mean, like even Australia sounds good to me. Just take me everywhere. Literally. Sign me up. Let's go. I don't
Way
know
more
if I do
adventurous.
flying, but still.
Way more adventurous than me.
It's so funny because I'm a picky eater too. So like I feel like I'm not going to be able to eat in half these places. Like I'm probably going to pack like boxes of oatmeal and like ramen with me.
So funny. I mean, I've been to like I when I was 13, it was actually right after my bat mitzvah. Um, so me and my brother went with my grandparents on a cruise to the Mediterranean. So we got to go to like Spain, France, Italy. We went to some other like the nearby islands around there. So I've been to, but I was 13, so I only remember so much, but we got to do all that. It was really cool. I do have family in Paris, but I've never visited Paris. It's like not on my travel list though. I know it's on most people's travel list, but it's like it'd be cool to go there, but it's not like a top place for
I've been
me.
to Paris and it wasn't my favorite city, I would say, that I visit, honestly. I
Yeah.
felt like it was more touristy than anything. And I don't know, but I will say I had a really good croissant there. Really
Mm.
good.
I've seen them. They're like, seen some that are like that big. I'm like, oh.
I feel like, I don't know, I've been to so many cities, like, but I have family, like, in Israel. A lot of my family lives in Israel. So, like, I would love to go back to Israel just to, like, see my family. Like,
Yeah.
one of my cousins have, like, a honey farm there.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I feel like that would be cool to go do. I've never met them. I've probably met them once in my life, so like that would be really cool. So,
So since we're so well traveled, do we have travel tips?
do we have travel tips? Pack a snack bag. I feel like people don't know this, but like if you're flying on the plane, like if you're going on an airplane, you can bring a plastic bag, even a reusable bag with food. It does not have to be a carry-on, like it's not a personal item. Pack those snacks, pack that food. It doesn't matter if you eat any of this, but let me tell you, you will feel more comfortable knowing that in your bag you have a snack. And
Yeah.
reusable water bottles. Anywhere you go, reusable water bottle. Just dump out the water if you're on a plane.
Yeah, absolutely. My reusable water bottle for sure for me. I also like having like Lysol wipes or something just to like wipe my little area in the plane down. Like I'm not a crazy germ freak, but I just know how many germs. Like I feel like no matter what you do, they're just in the air. But I just like to like really quickly like just wipe my area. So they have those like on the go Lysol wipes. Just,
Yeah. Make you feel clean.
hotel rooms sometimes wipe down a remote. I don't know. I like to just
I
it'll
think
be
too, like if you're traveling, don't have expectations. Like have a plan if that's how you are, because sometimes not having a plan doesn't get you anywhere, but don't have expectations either because something can happen. Like the thing you were gonna do, it got canceled. Like don't,
yeah.
if you have those expectations and like you're going to not be happy when things don't work out, if they don't work out, the way you want, and like always have a plan B. Like even though today you have a plan to go outside all day, but it rains, then what do you do? Like, always have a plan B, do your research, and not just like read one website and be like, I did my research. Like, watch YouTubes, watch Instagrams, watch TikToks. Like, really do your research because you're gonna end up showing up and be like, what should I do today?
Yeah. That's always my number one advice when a family, like a friend or whatever, a family is going to Disney, especially, but like it works for anywhere, is like have a plan of what you want to do, but be open-minded and go with the flow because sometimes you just think that you can do more than you can do, and then you get upset, like, oh, we planned to do this and we didn't get to do it. But like, okay, but you got to do all these other things. And when you have that like open mindset and that like you can pivot easily, it's just so much more enjoyable. And also plan rest time. Like, I think people are so like, I want to go, I want to see it all anywhere. Just like have some rest time because if you're tired, you're going to be grumpy. Like, you're not going to be, like you just need that rest time. You need that downtime for sure.
Intermissions are your best friend. I would say too, like going off what you said, when I worked in hospitality, let me tell you, my biggest pet peeve was when people will tell me, well, blah, 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 I didn't know this existed. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't know I had to do this. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't know that was there. I literally just wanted to, literally in my head, I'm just like, why would you spend thousands and hundreds of dollars to go somewhere and you did not do your research or plan anything? Like, don't get mad at me because you didn't do you didn't do your responsibility of planning.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's like, especially for Disney, but like travel agents, you can use them for free.
Yeah,
So,
I have two travel agents that I trust that like if I need to plan something. So I have one travel agent that we do use, and then one of my Instagram friends, she's a travel agent that specializes in children that have special needs, and so she plans all their trips. So if you guys want information for that, just let us know too. I think too, like going to Disney, going anywhere, like she was like Jacqui was saying, she had a babysitter when she went to Aruba. Like there is babysitters out there. So if you want to have like a special night with your significant other and go on a date, or you need a little bit of extra help at the parks when you go to Disney, like there is a sitter that is out there to help you. So don't think that like you're on your own in a sense. Like know that there is help wherever you go. Like my parents were even saying like one time they went to Myrtle Beach and they hired a sitter from an agency so they can go out for the night. And this was like 10, 15, 20 years ago, right?
yeah.
Like these things have existed for years. Or, and I think too, like packing, I under and overpack, so don't ask me for tips on that. But I think just check the weather, figure out, is this something I'm gonna need layers for? Layers are your best friend.
Whenever I'm trying to pack like small, so maybe I'm just bringing a carry-on or whatever, I really do plan out what I'm going to bring, but I will roll my like clothes and like you can get a lot in there. Normally when I pack, like when I'm coming here, I do use packing cubes and I love them. Like I love packing cubes, but if I'm trying to be really like, I mean, you could even pack it all in a packing cube, but I just like I roll everything if I'm really packing tight. Um, and that works really well.
Matt makes fun of me because I pack way too many bags and bags, but I will literally, I think we've talked about this before, but I remember I went to New York one time on the bus and I like didn't have my stuff like really put together. Like everything was just like a mismatch in my bags and I lost a shoe, just one shoe on the bus. So I am now like, I will pack a bag in a bag. Like this little bag has hair pieces. This little bag has like whatever, like I'm always pack an extra bag. Like I remember we went to when I went to Europe one time, the backpack we bought to carry all our stuff broke. And I packed like one of those like those bags that you can like that get really small and like go into a bag. I just threw that in my suitcase and guess what we ended up using the entire trip? That bag. So
Yeah.
always pack an extra like little bag or pack something like an extra tote, right? Also like I don't know about me, but I don't know about y'all, but like I get so grossed out when my dirty clothes touch my clean clothes. So pack a laundry bag, pack something to put your dirty laundry in. Like it is so helpful too when you get home, not having to go for your entire suitcase. You can just throw the dirty laundry in right away.
If I have packing cubes, I use one packing cube and I throw all the dirty clothes in there.
I do that too
Yeah.
sometimes.
And then I just consolidate like any clean clothes that we have left in the other, packing cube and it's the best because I mean if I'm here for a while then I do my laundry here because I'm at my mom's house. But if we have a quick trip and I don't have time for that, then I just get home, unzip it and throw it all in the washer and boom, there you go. It's so
Boom,
much.
done.
Yeah.
Also, don't be like me and leave your suitcase in the living room for about 2 weeks because you just don't have the mental capacity to unpack it, even though you've already pretty much have been going in and out of that suitcase for the last 2 weeks finding stuff. Just don't, it's just not worth it in the end.
I'm gonna put Glenn on blast here. Um, that's what I used to do. So I would like come back from going to my mom's house because when Gavin was little and he wasn't in school, we would come down and stay for like a week by ourselves down here. And so I'd go back and I'd have my bags like in the like yeah, our house is kind of all one room ish in like the main area, but I just like have it there. And he's like, can you like do something with the bags that I'm stepping over every and so it was like a thing. And so then one day I was like, okay, I'm gonna start emptying it like right when I get home. And honestly, ever since then, I empty it right away. Ever since that conversation when he was like, can you just maybe like not? And I'm like, okay. I don't know. Something just clicked and I was like, yeah.
I strive
So
to
I do
be
it.
that person one day. I will say like safety wise, make sure you tell people your plans. If you're going out of the country, give like someone you trust a copy of your passport in case you ever lose it. Um, and
Let your credit card company know that you're leaving the
yeah,
country or the state.
that too. Um, Apple, I'm sure Android possibly has it too, but you could share your location with your family members. Let them know your travel plans for the day. It's super important, like that people know where you are. We live in a crazy country in a crazy world, and just super important. Be visual too, like be visual about what's around you. You don't know, and don't pay attention, like really pay attention, be visual, don't be in la la land just because you're somewhere new. Like I had some crazy experiences happen to me when I was traveling in Europe. And let me tell you, because I was visual and because I knew what I was doing, I was able to get out of these situations. And I would say the way I was able to get out of these situations is I paid attention to where I was. I paid attention to what was around me. I paid attention. And don't feel like, yes, some people might not be trustworthy, but if you're in a situation where you don't feel safe, find a group of people. Find a group of people and tell them, hey, I don't feel safe. Can you help me?
Yeah. Yeah. My grandpa got robbed basically like by like knife point in Paris. So just be careful like what you're wearing, like your jewelry, things like that, because you just never know. And you just don't want to have that experience. You just want to go have a great time. You don't need to be wearing all the things. Like you're there to like experience it. And so even though you want to have cute things on, just
You don't need
be
it.
mindful. Yeah,
Yeah.
be mindful.
I think too, like, even though not everyone's a tour person, I think it's a lot safer to do tours too when you're going somewhere new. That way, like, you get to see all the things you want to see and you're with a group of people, you're with a bodyguard, you're with security. Also, like, get a phone strap, get something like you can hold your phone or keep your phones in your pocket. Like, if you know where you're going, put your phone in your pocket, don't take it out. You don't need it. Those are things that are pretty much going to get stolen if it's in your hand. It is what it is, but and
Yeah.
another big tip that I will say is money. Like if you're bringing cash, do not carry all your cash. Like hide cash in your suitcase. Like don't even think about it. Like have emergency stash of cash in your suitcase in case for some reason you need something happens and you need it. Don't even think about that cash. Like that is like, oh, I don't even have that cash. Another thing is if you're flying like international, any little piece of paper, scrap, any ticket, anything they give you on that plane, put somewhere safe. I remember we were going to Cancun, my friend and we were traveling back to America, and she was missing a part of her ticket that she needed to get through customs. And we almost missed our flight because we had to wait for the office to open to get what we needed for her to get through customs. So every little thing they give you, just keep it. It doesn't matter if you're like, do I need this? Do I not need this? Just put it away. Just put it away somewhere safe. Have a envelope, have some like little baggie, just keep everything safe.
Yeah. Love
Can,
it.
you can tell where I traveled a lot.
And most importantly, have your snacks so you're not hangry, like Ashley said.
Literally, I grew up
Above all.
my parents are always like, my dad would always be like, don't forget your snack bag. Don't forget your snack bag.
Well, it's like I do get hangry, but also when you are hungry, you forget things or you're sloppy about things or like
I
it
think
is really
too,
hard.
pack snacks that are not going to get mushy, like, or put in like a hard case. Like, don't pack like the crackers, like, those are going to get mushy. Like, pack a granola bar, pack like, stuff that feels solid, if that makes sense. And pack oatmeal. I'm telling you, it sounds crazy, but pack as much instant oatmeal as you can because if you're going somewhere like they always have hot water, you'll always have something to eat then because you might end up your flight's 5 hours delay. And so now that you thought you were going to get dinner, you're not getting dinner and you're hungry and you're like, what do I do? You're like, have oatmeal.
And in conclusion, bring your instant oatmeal.
Biggest tip, oatmeal.
Right
But
on.
we hope that you have safe travels wherever you guys travel next. And I am excited to see where I travel next because who knows? Probably Florida.
I have never seen snow. I'll just throw it out there. So I want to see snow. I'm 37. I'm ready to see some snow just for like a day. Don't need to live in it. Don't need to be in it for a while because I know I'm gonna be cold.
Just gotta find.
Petition to get Jacqui to snow.
That's the goal. 2025 goal. Get Jacqui to snow.
Yep.
That's so bad.
Keep you updated.
But we love you all and we hope that you have some safe travels and you enjoyed hearing about our travels. We want to hear about your travels. Where is your favorite place you've traveled? What is some dream trips you have? Do you have any future travel plans? What is your travel tips and tricks besides oatmeal? Because we all love oatmeal.
Love you.
Also, can I just put out there, is this a girl thing or is there anyone else, like, is there guys that pack like over 50 pairs of underwear because you think you're gonna poop yourself every single day? I swear to you. I'm like, okay, I have to pack 4 extra pairs.
Yeah. Just in case. You never know. What if you
Let
get
us
stuck
know.
somewhere? You need some extra underwear.
Just let us know how much underwear you pack too. Like, let us know
Do you
the
have
people here.
do you have an underwear bag? Do you have a specific bag for your underwear
I
when you
put my
get?
underwear and socks and undershirts together in like a thing.
Okay.
But and maybe some bathing suits. I don't know. It depends where we're going. But I definitely because I have this is like so much info. But I have like my night underwear and I have like my daytime underwear, and I always pack like 4 extra pairs of underwear.
Okay. This is good stuff.
So
Welcome out on the podcast.
we're all besties. It's fine.
You're so funny. Anyway, Yeah. So if you have any tips, please share them because we're always looking for travel tips. I wish I had more for kids, but I haven't traveled very much with the kids
I
besides
will
like car trips.
I will say
So
for kids, like especially at Disney, buy this might sound so silly, but my biggest tip is one thing you want to bring, like I guess because I've worked at like babysat at Disney so many times, little skateboards. I know that sounds crazy, but the feel, it's like a sensory thing. Little skateboards are your best friend.
like the finger ones.
Yep, best friend. It's something about the sensory, but like they will just take that skateboard and drag it across any surface. And it's so entertaining because of the sensoriness of it. But yeah,
Huh.
pack a little like bag of toys for them, like toys that they can use their imagination. Right? Bring coloring, bring those little water wows for children, like bring things that like, and I feel like a lot of people just go with tablets. So that's perfectly fine. If that's your vibe, that's okay too. But I'm telling you, little skateboards, little people, little things where they can use their imagination and act out what they're doing. It's like that's the one thing I saw with children is anytime I would give them toys that like you would use your imagination for, they would always act out exactly what they saw that day. They would like I remember one time there was this little girl, she was acting out a whole stage show she saw. Like
Cute.
so
Yeah.
bring toys that help with their imagination so they can process what they saw and what they did that day and process what they're going through.
Love. Love
Yeah.
that.
But yeah, we would also like to hear from you what you thought about this podcast, what episodes you're looking for in the future. Is there's any trip ideas for Jacqui and I for our travels in the next 2 years? We would love to hear your reviews. We love it all. We love talking to you. And we would like to have an open discussion with you in our Facebook group and be able to talk about all this. So we will ask in our Facebook group as soon as this episode goes up about your trips and tricks. And if you don't know about our Facebook group, we will have a link in our linky link to there. And we'll put in
Okay.
the email too. So if you're not part of our email, sign up because that will be the way you get notification right away that this podcast is up and you get notification of all the fun things we got planned going on. And we are so excited to have you. And we are so excited that you were able to listen to our new series also, which is super fun. And we're excited to continue this series of our convos and our series about different books that we're reading. And we just love you all and we will see you soon. Have a great day.
Bye. Thanks for spending time with us today and being part of our Hermit Haven community.
We hope you enjoyed our cozy chat and are inspired to embrace your inner hermit.
Remember, even in the quiet moments, you're never alone on this journey because we are truly all in this together.
So until next time, stay cozy, stay true to yourself, and keep spreading love wherever you go.
Bye for now.
We'll see you next time.